Well, so many signals and so many great finds. Well, welcome to Finding America. It is really nice to see you here. Now, I couldn't wait to get back out there with my Minelab Manticore. And in this episode, you're going to see two separate hunts on two separate days. Now, I'd finally decided that it was high time for the Minelab Manticore to meet the mill houses on the river, especially a small backyard that I'd recently gotten permission to that I'd never hunted before. Well, there was one problem with this old backyard. It had been absolutely full of trash, but it had been recently cleaned out and mowed, so I was hoping I'd be able to make my way through it while digging it all and possibly finding some decent finds. Well, as it turned out, I found some really nice finds, and I even got a nice surprise while I was walking back to my car later as well. Well, I really hope you enjoy watching this episode. Well, I've been digging quite a few signals here. No shortage of that, but a whole lot of trash. But it's one of the surviving mill worker houses. And it's actually a yard that I've never hunted before. So I got permission to it a few months ago. And I had some other things kept coming up, but I'm finally over here and giving it a go. So I got a 48 with this one. I'm in the backyard. The front yard is postage stamp. The backyard is pretty darn good sized. But I got a 48, dug down. Nothing special, but I just wanted to film it in case it turned out to be something. Little aluminum band. It says cryovac on it. So pretty neat. And yeah, I've just got a couple hours before the sun starts to set here, so I just want to come out and give it a whirl, see what I find. Well, I got something that I really love to find out here. It's giving me a signal in the high 50s, low 60s, kind of a little bit long signature on the conductive line. And I dug down, and last couple holes, I'm definitely in their area where they had their coal dropped off. Tons and tons of coal. But it was still in the hole. I popped a little bit more, and check out what popped out of the hole. Tootsie toy. Looks like a dragster. Oh, that's a little different. No, that's kind of usually fine. Yeah, I found two of these earlier in the year. And look at that. It's got all its wheels. Really looks good. How about that? Looks like it was originally red. Very cool. That's going to be 1960s Tootsie toy, and I love digging these up. Well, just hunting close to the fence line of this backyard. Kind of a slope right here, a lot of coal. Of course, the road is up here, and they would have had the coal trucks coming by and dumping their loads of coal to heat the houses. So I know kids back then really were attracted to the coal piles, so they would play around them. So I always expect to find toys, especially down here at the mill workers' houses where there were just kids everywhere. I find so many cool toys here. And this one turned out to be another toy. Give me an 89 to 91, about 4 inches down, sitting right on top of the plug. I pulled it up just to see what it was. Kind of thought, crumpled can, but no, not really. It's a bowl from a kid's, a little girl's play set, and it's got a little yellow ducky on it. So pretty cool. Probably going to be 50s, 60s. And it's a shame it's all mangled up, but Yep, a little tiny bowl. Kinda like that. Well, this one was giving me a 48. Nice solid signal. Nice round signature on the conductive line too, on the screen. So yeah, I'm gonna dig it. So pop the plug. Said it was still in the plug. I scooped some dirt, threw it back in the hole. Check it out. Some kind of. I'm assuming that's a button, and it looks pretty fancy too. Yeah, I don't think it's a great seal. Let's see. Very cool. Let's see where the shank was. Let's see what this is. Oh wow, how cool is that? Nice little blazer button. Let me wipe it on my glove real quick. Try not to make you seasick while I'm doing it. But there it is. That is pretty darn cool. Get it in here. Yeah, that's awesome. Definitely an old blazer button. Iron backed. Probably going to put it in the 30s or 40s. So very cool. And definitely happy to have that one. Well, this one was giving me a 72. I dug down and I got this. Not sure what that is. It seems to be, I don't know if it's lead. I don't think it's lead, but either way, it's nothing in particular. But I ran my coil over the hole again, and I pulled out something I always love finding, a railroad spike. So, if you're new to the channel, this means it's time for a really cool old train picture. Well, this signal got me pretty excited. I was getting like a 91 to 93. Nice tight signature right on the center conductive line on the 2D. And yeah, I cut the plug, flipped it over, saw it immediately. Check this out. That's pretty darn cool. Looks like a Cadillac emblem. It sure is. That's got a, let's see. Trying to see if it had a part number on it. I think that's just an engineering number. Pretty cool though. Not super old. This is chrome plastic. No, it's a light metal. So that is pretty cool though. I'd probably place this in the 80s, possibly the 70s, but that's a neat piece, and I love finding any old car emblem. This next one was giving me a nice tight 5960 signal on my screen, and there it is right there. Let me turn this. Okay, there it is right there. And I want to say this is probably some kind of a pin. I find a ton of them in this area. Probably found 15 of them, all kinds of different ones. I think someone collected pins. Now, how cool is that? Yeah, I find a lot of union pins. And this one is really cool. It's got the rainbow, and it says IBEW Hawaii, Local Union 1186. And it's got like a volcano with a Hawaiian god standing on top. How cool is that? Well, you definitely don't expect to find that in Tennessee. So that is a very cool piece. I definitely like that. Well, this next one was giving me a high 70 signal. I said it was pretty deep. Ended up being almost 10 inches down. And it was a nice repeatable signal. So I went for it and got it up on the drop cloth finally. Checking it out. I think when I saw it flop out, I think I know what it is. Check it out. I think this is going to be an old token. Probably Palmolive. They had square tokens. Oh yeah, see here, this is the side that has the terms for the store owners. Wow. And usually these are pretty eaten up. This one's in really good shape. It's got a little bend to it, but usually they're corroded, torn in half. Yeah, I think that's what this might be. Let's see what variety. I'll tell you what. You guys know I love finding tokens. And I've been on a bit of a streak. Yeah, I think it's Snow King soda. Very cool. Let me get it cleaned up. This one's going to be really nice condition. Really thrilled with this one. And it dates back to the 20s and 30s. So let me clean it up and I'll be right back. But what a great find. Yeah, this little backyard's turned out to be pretty good. Well, there it is. And I'll tell you what, this one's a beauty. This might be the best condition one I've found. And it's good for a 5-cent package of Snow King soda, which would have been Snow King brand baking soda, free with the purchase of a 5-cent package at your grocer's. That is awesome. Yep, I was a company based in Cincinnati, Ohio, and that is awesome. And it just tells you, Mr. Grocer, we will redeem this coin for 5 cents cash. The Snow King Baking Powder Company. How cool is that? Beautiful piece. Somewhere in the teens into possibly 1930, right around there. So I'm definitely happy with that. And yeah, great token. Well, it's starting to get dark, and I was heading back to the vehicle, and I'm walking across this area, and I thought, you know, let me spend 15-20 minutes here because I have pounded this area. I've shown this with the 900, the 800, everything, and really have pounded this area. This one was giving me a 71, and it's like right by this big tree root. Now, it was only good in one direction. I was getting a bit of a horizontal smear, and actually it was a vertical smear on the screen crossing the conductive line, and then I had another indication up in the iron range. So I knew it wasn't the greatest signal, but because it had a line going up and down, straight up and down, I was thinking it might be something on edge, and I got something really good on edge. First thing that happened was I found this really rusty old iron nail. So I was like, okay. And then I ran my coil over the dirt that I had brought out from underneath this tree root down here, and check it out. I got a silver edge. Is that not awesome? About 6 inches down, and I'm just gonna pop this dirt off. Oh, I got a mark. I'll be darned. Hey, that's all right. Heading back to the car, and I wanted to try this spot because I just pounded the heck out of it. Found a lot of cool tokens in silver, and this is I'd say about 30 yards from where I got the Lone Ranger badge. A whole bunch of cool things. So, oh yeah, look at there. Let me bring in on it. It's a little hard for me to see what the date is, but probably not so bad for you guys. It always appears a little brighter than it actually is out here. Is that not awesome? Wow, that was a tough little target. I think it's 41. It's hard to tell, but I am very happy with that. Here's the backside. Not bad. Well, I'm going to be heading back out here. I just had an hour or two to poke around, and yeah, scored a nice little piece on the way back to the vehicle. Well, I was pretty happy after that hunt, and I couldn't wait to get back out there with my Minelab Manticore at the spot that I'd chosen next for it, an old park. An old park that Chris and I have pounded for over a decade, and I've filmed countless episodes from. Now, we're not the only ones that hunt this park. After all, it's a public park. It's been pounded for 50 years by anybody and everybody swinging a metal detector. And it's not an easy place to hunt at all. It's full of iron and trash signals. And good finds and good signals are pretty hard to come by today. Now, I'd already decided that if I came away with anything significant at all, I was going to consider it a good day. Well, as it turned out, it was a great day. Well, pardon the road noise. I'm pretty much right next to it. It's a very busy street. But this is a park that I have found amazing things in. Probably one of the most memorable ones last time was in a video I linked to in last week's episode where I found the silver Morgan dollar. And so we have pounded this place to death. So I decided I wanted to come back out here and see what I could find. And I found a few things already, nothing great. I did get like a spigot to a water faucet. So that was pretty cool to find that, big brass item. Now this one was giving me a 23-24. Had high hopes it was a nickel. Said it was about 5 inches down. First thing I pulled out was this nail. And I ran my coil back over it just to see if that might have been it, and it wasn't. It would give me another 24 signal. And check this out, it's this a tiny little button. That thing locked onto that, even though it had that pretty darn large rusty nail in the hole. And I am just so impressed with that. And that is in the general program, all terrain. So very impressed, and I'll get it cleaned up, but it's definitely an old little piece, and yeah, the Manticore did an awesome job locking onto that. The iron is extremely heavy in this area, and that's why I purposely wanted to come here. Plus it always has some pretty neat things to find here as well, all the way back to the Civil War. This one was giving me a 43, a little bit of a long signature. It sounded nice, but I figured it was going to be big iron, and it was. And it's a part of a railroad spike. And yeah, you don't have to twist my arm to show another cool train pick. Well, like I said, we found a lot of Civil War stuff in this particular area of the park, and there was a running battle that ran across this area, and yeah, sure as heck, look here, I got a 53, and I dug down and I started, my pinpointer just started going nuts, so I spent the last 10 minutes picking little leather rivets out. I think I've got, what, 8 of them there, some of them with the leather still attached. Now, is it absolutely Civil War? No, we can't tell, but it certainly looks period, and it's very, very cool. It could have been anything. Could have been parts of a belt or harness. It's hard to tell, but they definitely look period. They have a nice green patina on them, even a little bit of leather left, so pretty cool. And we have found a lot of Civil War here, but just because you find Civil War stuff in an area doesn't mean your next find is necessarily Civil War. I mean, this could be 1870, you know? But it's a really interesting find, and yeah, did a good job finding that in the middle of the iron. I am just working low and very slow through all this iron and just picking out signals, and unbelievably there's signals like pretty regularly. I'm having a blast. This is kind of interesting. This is giving me like a 43 to a 50 depending on the approach I took to it, and I could see a nice long elongated signature on the 2D screen, and I'll show you that right now. So I dug down, it was about 6 inches, and I popped it out, and it's pretty interesting. It's a big iron piece, but look at that shape. I have no idea what that was on originally. First I thought it was a hinge, but it's a solid one-piece casting. So very cool piece. Not sure exactly what it is, but it's old. Oh, and it's getting windy too. This one was giving me a mid-50s signal, and it was big. And I dug down, and I saw the corner of it, and I'm like, oh, could it be? Because I actually found one of these a couple of years ago at this spot. And here's another one. Couldn't believe it. Pulled it out. It came out in two pieces, but check it out. It's an old Tennessee license plate. This is the last piece to come out. But yeah, if you see it, you can still see the year. Looks like 1963. So very cool. Might have been on someone's 409 Impala. Who knows? Maybe even a 427 Galaxy. That would be nice. But I love that. That's a great find. Well, pretty cool. Got a 37. Dug down and fully expecting a pull tab, but nope, sure not. Check it out. Got a Civil War period pistol bullet. Looks like I imagine this is a Colt, but how about that? Yeah, and only 2 inches down. So very cool. Yeah, gave me a 37, so you know, another pull tab signal, and I dig it all. And instead of a pull tab, I got a nice Civil War bullet, so very happy with that. Well, this one was giving me a 54 to 55, and about 7 inches down. Finally got it out, and it's an old foil cap to an old glass milk bottle. And I just wanted to clean it off later and see if it matches a local dairy bottle that I found in this town about 1.5 years ago. So I'll get it cleaned off when I get home, and let's see what it says. But I always like digging these things up. A little piece of local history. Well, this signal gave me a 25-26, and sure enough, it was right on. Got myself a nickel. I was hoping for a Buffalo, but I got a nice little early Jefferson. It's going to be a 1957, so that was a pretty darn good year. And I tell you, the Manticore is definitely hot on the nickels, and I really like that, because I always like digging these old nickels. Well, this one was giving me a nice high tone, 89-90. I'd say it's about 7-8 inches down. I finally got it up on the drum cloth, and I just wanted to grab my camera in case it was something, not just some kind of cylinder. Well, there certainly seems to be some kind of writing on it. Not sure if you can make it out. I'll tell you what, I'll have to clean this up a little bit more when I get home, but there's definitely something on it, and it looks old. Yeah, see right here, what does that say? Solid 4P. Got me. Well, we'll get it cleaned up. It did it again. Got a 26 to 27, and hoping for a nickel. I found a piece of garbage next to it there, and then I got that signal dug down. And sure enough, look here, I threw the dirt up, and it's a nickel. Hopefully it's not a Jefferson, but if it's an early one, I'll take it, I guess. But let's see. Oh, this wind is killing me here. Let me see if I can turn. Except then I put you in the shadow. Okay. Well, we may just have to deal with it. Oh, holy cow, that's no Jefferson. Check that out. Wow. It's a Liberty head nickel. Can you believe it? Oh, and it looks to be nice too. Oh, not like the one I dug up last weekend. I can barely make out the date. Look at that. That is nice. You see the V and everything perfectly. Oh, wow. That is so awesome. I love V nickels. I just love finding them. This one, let's see, definitely going to have a date on this one. Ah, this is awesome. Check it out. 1910. I will definitely take that. Trying to keep the wind away from it, but hopefully you can see it. Oh, it's awesome. What a beautiful coin. That was the very first old coin I ever dug up when I was 12 years old. Isn't that awesome? And I've just loved them ever since. Beautiful coin. Oh, that is awesome. Just awesome. Well, what can I say? That Minelab Manticore continues to impress and produce. And I really hope you enjoyed watching this week's episode. Now, if you haven't gotten enough, stick around to the end of this one, and I have a link to an amazing episode from the Finding America archives. It was one where Chris and I found some amazing things, and I really think you're going to enjoy watching this one. And remember, it's history that makes a find a treasure. And I can't wait to see you back here next week on Finding America.